Mental health is a part of the human experience. It affects so many of us, more than we often realize. Globally, hundreds of millions of people live with mental health conditions. It's a quiet struggle that can feel incredibly isolating. For too long, these conversations have been pushed into the shadows, wrapped in shame and misunderstanding. We were taught to be strong, to push through, to not talk about the hard stuff. But that silence doesn't make the struggle go away. It only makes the burden heavier. The first step toward healing is always courage, and the first step toward courage is showing up and letting ourselves be seen. We need to find ways to bring these conversations into the light with compassion and honesty. This is where art enters the story. Art has always been a powerful way for humans to express what words cannot. It gives shape to our deepest fears and our most profound joys. In today's world, this power has found a new home on social media. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok have become global galleries for a new generation. Young people, especially those between the ages of 15 and 30, are using these spaces not just to connect, but to share their truths. Visuals cut through the noise. A single drawing can stop you in your tracks, making you feel something real and immediate. This connection is vital for building a community where vulnerability is seen as strength, not weakness. The rise of digital art has revolutionized how we talk about mental health. An artist can create a piece on their tablet and within minutes share it with millions. These aren't just pretty pictures, they are powerful stories. They are windows into someone else's world. A digital illustration can depict the weight of anxiety as a heavy monster on someone's back. It can show depression as a draining gray cloud that follows you everywhere. These images make abstract feelings tangible. They give us a shared language to talk about our inner lives. For young people navigating the complexities of their own minds, seeing their feelings reflected back at them is incredibly validating. It says you are not alone in this. This brings us to a crucial question. How exactly do these digital illustrations create such a powerful impact? Our goal is to explore how these visual campaigns on social media are changing the landscape of mental health awareness. We want to understand the magic that happens when art and advocacy meet online. We will look at how these images foster empathy, reduce stigma, and encourage people to reach out for help. This is not just about art for art's sake. This is about art as a tool for connection, for understanding, and for building a world where we can all be a little more open and a lot more compassionate with ourselves and with each other. When we see a piece of art that resonates with us, something profound happens. It's more than just looking. It's about feeling. We study people's emotional and cognitive responses to these digital illustrations to understand their true impact. When someone sees an image of a person tangled in thorny vines representing the grip of anxiety, they don't just process it as information. They feel a pang of recognition or a wave of empathy. This emotional connection is the key. It bypasses our usual defenses and speaks directly to our hearts. The colors, symbols, and narratives used in the art all work together to create this powerful experience, turning a private struggle into a shared human story. Artists and advocates are at the forefront of this movement. They are the storytellers of our time. They tell us that authenticity is everything. The most effective pieces are born from lived experience. An artist who has navigated the depths of depression can create an image that feels true because it is true. They use color theory to convey mood, cool blues for sadness, chaotic reds for anger, or soft yellows for a glimmer of hope. Symbolism is also crucial. A cracked teacup can represent feeling broken but still holding on. A key can symbolize finding the tools to unlock your own healing. These artists are courageously sharing their vulnerability, and in doing so, they give others permission to be vulnerable too. This is where Albert Bandura's social learning theory comes into play. The theory suggests that we learn by observing others. On social media, young people are constantly observing. They see these illustrations, read the captions, and scroll through the comments. They learn that it's okay to not be okay. They see others sharing their stories and offering support. This creates a powerful ripple effect. One person's brave post can inspire hundreds, even thousands of others to feel less alone and more understood. The digital space becomes a classroom for emotional intelligence and empathy, where the curriculum is created by people who have been there. It's learning through shared humanity. The power of these messages is amplified by the very nature of social media. These platforms are built for sharing. A single powerful illustration can be shared across networks, reaching far beyond the artist's initial followers. It can show up on a feed in Manila, be reshared by someone in London, and resonate with a teenager in Chicago. This global reach is unprecedented. It helps to normalize mental health conversations on a massive scale. It breaks down cultural and geographical barriers, creating a universal dialogue around well-being. The message is clear and simple. Your mental health matters, and there is a community here for you, no matter where you are. To truly understand how digital art works its magic, we have to look closer at the elements that make it so compelling. It's about storytelling, color, and symbolism. A digital illustration can tell a whole story in a single frame. Think of a character trying to climb out of a deep, dark hole. We see their struggle, their determination, and the faint light above. This narrative arc creates an immediate emotional response. It taps into our own experiences of feeling stuck and wanting to find a way out. This storytelling fosters a deep sense of empathy. We don't just see the character, we become the character, rooting for them to reach the light. This is how art builds bridges between us. Color is another essential tool in the artist's kit. Our brains are hardwired to associate colors with emotions. Artists use this intuitively and intentionally. A palette of muted grays and blues can instantly convey a sense of sadness or loneliness, creating a mood that words alone might struggle to capture. In contrast, a splash of vibrant yellow or a soft pink in an otherwise dark image can represent hope, healing, or a moment of peace. These color choices aren't accidental. They are carefully selected to guide our emotional journey as we look at the art, making the artist's intended message more powerful and more deeply felt. Then there are the symbols. Symbols are a kind of visual shorthand that can communicate complex ideas quickly and powerfully. A wilting plant can symbolize neglect of one's mental health, while a blooming flower can represent growth and recovery. A mask can show the feeling of hiding one's true self from the world. These symbols are powerful because they are often universal. They tap into a collective understanding that transcends language and culture. When we see these symbols used in the context of mental health, it helps us make sense of our own complicated feelings. It gives us a new way to think and talk about what we're going through. However, this work is not without its challenges. One of the main hurdles is accurately measuring the emotional impact of art. How do you quantify a feeling of being understood? How do you measure a reduction in stigma? These are complex questions. Another challenge is the often limited information we have about the creative process behind the art. Understanding an artist's intention can provide deeper insight into the work's meaning. Despite these challenges, the evidence of impact is all around us. We see it in the comment sections filled with gratitude and shared stories. We see it in the growing number of young people who feel empowered to speak their truth. Looking ahead, we must think creatively about how to harness this power for future mental health campaigns. We need to move beyond single posts and think about creating sustained, interactive experiences. Imagine campaigns that use a series of illustrations to tell a longer story of recovery, released over several weeks. This would allow followers to connect with a character's journey on a deeper level. We could also create campaigns that invite user participation. For example, an artist could provide a template or a prompt, encouraging followers to create and share their own art about a specific theme, like, "What does hope look like to you?" This fosters a sense of co-creation and community ownership. These creative strategies would benefit many groups. The primary beneficiaries are, of course, young people aged 15 to 30. This is a critical time of life, and providing accessible, relatable resources is essential. Campaigns that incorporate both English and Filipino contexts, for instance, can reach a more diverse audience and acknowledge cultural nuances in how mental health is perceived. But the benefits extend beyond this group. Mental health professionals can use these illustrations as tools in therapy. Educators can use them to start conversations in the classroom. Families can use them to better understand what their loved ones are going through. Art becomes a bridge for everyone. The ultimate goal is to create a culture of connection and courage around mental health. Digital art is helping us do that, one beautiful, honest, and vulnerable image at a time. It is reducing stigma by showing that mental health struggles are a normal part of being human. It is encouraging help-seeking behavior by normalizing conversations about therapy and support. It shows that reaching out is a sign of incredible strength. When we see art that mirrors our own pain, we feel seen. And when we feel seen, we no longer feel so alone. This is the profound gift that these artists are giving to the world. In conclusion, the intersection of digital art and social media has created a powerful new frontier for mental health advocacy. By using compelling narratives, intentional color palettes, and universal symbols, digital illustrations are fostering empathy and building community on a global scale. They are making the invisible visible. They are turning silent struggles into shared stories of resilience and hope. The work is not just about raising awareness. It is about fundamentally changing how we relate to our own minds and to each other. It is about painting a future where every single person feels worthy of help and belonging. That is a future worth creating.